Today I'm taking a look at ITV. Now, I remember ITV as a child well as done the weekend television and Thames TV when there were only 3 channels in the good old days and the telly took 5 minutes to warm up with the valves. Things have moved on an awful lot, and here we are looking at ITV very much online nowadays, including BritBox on the ITV hub. The recent financial results, maybe sit down and watch the investors' presentation, which was about an hour or so. Really, because the share price has taken quite a plummet because, according to some sources, the analysts really didn't like what they heard. So I thought, well, I better watch the review for myself and form my own opinion. So really, ITV is evolving as a company, really because they have to, from a television company, really facing the advent of streaming and all the 5G and fast broadband technology nowadays, and the competition from Amazon Prime and Netflix and the like. It's becoming a very, very competitive market. And the chief executive putting across that they very much need to be focusing on producing quality content because that's what the audience is asking for. Quality content, of course, does actually come at a price. So let's have a look at ITV as a company. So this is Hub as the online offering. ITV Hub is changing later in the year. ITV Hub is changing to ITVX, which will become an integrated AVOD, so SVOD platform in the UK. So there will be the free ad revenue generating platform, much larger than the existing ITV Hub, which will also incorporate in the premium offerings BritBox, which is the partnership currently with BBC, and also other potential online providers that are coming on board at a later date. So it really wants to upscale the size of the online offering dramatically over the coming years. So there's going to be quite a lot of investment into this, and they're taking on a big data analytics team and building a lot of the back-end technology and having to recruit an awful lot of IT analysts, etc., to do the work in the background for it. So apart from the television side, ITV also breaks down into the production side as ITV Studios. Now, ITV Studios actually comprises about 60 individual companies, all doing their own programs in their own right. So they function as individual little units within the ITV Studios brand. So take a look at one, for example. So this ITV company is Potato. Potato produces The Chase, Beat the Chasers, Ninja Warrior UK, Bear Grylls Survival, and many more. They focus primarily just on those shows. The presentation also made mention of Planet V, which is very much an advertiser-driven platform. I won't go into this one in detail, mainly because I need to spend a bit more time researching this one. Again, it's another great innovation that's been oncoming now for ITV in the last couple of years. Before you rush off to put the kettle on, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and your programme will resume shortly. So let's take a look at the results and see what's going on. So mine is just a general overview, really, so it's a nice and simplistic version. But the turnover, in spite of COVID, has actually been growing quite dramatically and doing very well. Overheads look relatively well under control, and the profit side looks healthy in comparison as well. So they were announcing a dividend that they're looking to be at 5 pence and looking to increase beyond 5 pence per share ongoing. With the drop in the share price, that makes a 5 pence dividend quite attractive to many dividend investors, particularly in the longer term. Assets and liabilities. I haven't got the 2021 figure. I didn't manage to pick that out of the results as yet, but I'm sure that'll come through properly in time as the results unfold. But generally, the overheads have been dramatically lower in 2021 from what I could pick out from the figures. But that looks fairly consistent year on year. And that's the way with very much a big company, that things do tend to stay fairly consistent. Capital expenditure, again, has been fairly consistent year on year. But I would say with the investments that are coming up into the big streaming platforms to compete on the wider world stage, the capital expenditures may be going up. There was also looking to move to White City in the west of London. So there's going to be some moving costs coming in over the next year or so. Free cash flows from the figures I could gain from it, slightly down on 2020, But the years have been very healthy, and I think in terms of cash flow, I think pandemic-wise, ITV have probably benefited from the fact that many people were at home and were watching television, and therefore the advertisers who were realising that were spending the money. So they didn't seem to suffer too much cash flow-wise during the pandemic period. However, it will have had a big impact on productions, etc. But I'm sure that'll come through in the next couple of years. So Simply Wall Street are putting a fair valuation at £2.30 a share as opposed to the current 75p a share, which has obviously been the big drop in there. From my DCF calculation, I was getting a £1.98 a share. And the Graham value, that's coming in there, 261. So there's such a variation in these figures. It really depends on where you put your starting point to your numbers. So let's take a look at SharePad. And over the last couple of years, ITV share price has gone from a low there at 56 pence a share, coming nicely up there to £1.30, and then over here we see this little bit of a drop off. Maybe someone knew something was coming, but at the announcement of the report there, the pricing has dropped down to 75 pence at the current value. Whether that's going to have a turnaround bounce up again and a fall further, we don't know at this stage. That's up to you. But I would say if it's paying a 5p dividend and we get down to that 60 pence mark, a 5p dividend on that is actually quite a nice return. We're not having to do a great deal, but we'll have to see where the share price goes to. So all in all, I thought the 2021 review was giving quite a positive input into where ITV is looking to go as a business and take on the streaming world in a much, much bigger scale. So I think that they're quite positive in the long term for the future, but maybe many of the city analysts are looking probably much shorter term. So that may be where they're reflecting in their share pricing. So look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section below, and we'll catch up with you again soon.